Secretary to the President, Sri R. Balchandran, organizer, distinguished guests, family members of Sri K.S. Rajamony, ladies and gentlemen. Indeed, I am happy to have the opportunity to participate in this gathering on the occasion of the delivery of K.S. Rajamony Memorial Lecture. The speakers who took the podium before me have highlighted how eminently Sri K.S. Rajamony contributed not only to the legal profession to which he belonged, but also to the social activity and being a member of the Kerala Public Men's Inquiry Commission. A public-spirited personality as he was, naturally inspired people of his time, and I have no doubt will continue to inspire the generations to come, because a good idea, a noble mission is not confined to its time frame or to its geographical limitation. Kerala is a very prosperous state, particularly in the social indication. The state's impressive achievement in the field of literacy, education, health, gender equality, tourism and culture have truly attracted global acclamation. Similarly, both the bar and bench of Kerala High Court has also taken a very leading role in the establishment of rule of law and strengthening the legal framework provided by our Constitution. The subject which I have chosen to speak on this occasion is India at 70s. Today we are speaking on 2nd of March, just after 6 months, less than 6 months, on 15th August of this year, our freedom will complete 70 years. Naturally, when somebody speaks on this subject, it brings a comparative picture where we were when we attained independence, achieved it through long struggle of 190 years to make an end to the colonial rule, and what we have achieved during these 70 years. And also it provides us an opportunity to reflect where we are and what is our destination, what are the fault lines, and what appropriate action we should take. At the time of independence, and in fact the whole first half of the last century, India's economy grew at a rate of 0.0% to 1%. In these 7 decades, 50s, 60s, 70s, at the end of 70s, Indian economy grew at the rate of 3.9%. Once it was jokingly called Hindu growth rate. But in the 80s, we went up to 5.6%, 96.7%, and in the last 15 years, out of 15 years, 13 years, Indian economy grew more than 7%, and as per the indication of the third quarter of the current year, it is sure to grow more than 7.5%. This has been achieved by the hard work of our workers and farmers being backed by the appropriate policy. In 1950, our population was 360 million. But we did not produce enough to feed our people. Total grain production in 1950 was 45 million. We had to depend on American food aid through PL 480. Almost our situation was like ship to mouth, even up to the late 60s. But today, there is no PL 480. There is no Aid Indian Consortium. There is no food aid. India produces enough to feed its people and also to export. It is expected this year our grain production will reach 272 million. Life expectancy at the time of independence was 31%, and today it is 68. Literacy was 18%. Today it is 74. Per capita income was just little more than 7,000 in 1950. Today it is more than 77,000. And poverty ratio has come down from over 60% to below 25%. Today, India is not only the fastest growing advanced economy, but also third in the size of the economy as per purchasing power parity, 10th in the industrial power, 10th industrial power, 6th member of the space, and we have made some sort of record. Just 2 weeks ago, when ISRO set a world record launching 104 satellites into space at one go. Till now, no country has even to have this record. Our Mars expedition was in the very first attempt successful, which is a unique feature and the cheapest of this type of expedition all over the world. In the last 70 years, many tangible achievements have been made by the country in the field of the infrastructure of higher education. Right now, when we are talking before you, there are more than 756 universities which provide degrees, more than 36,000 colleges, large number of engineering and technical institutions, the third largest reservoir of the technically competent manpower, But at the same time, there are some fault lines which ought to be addressed by us. Since I assumed the office of the 13th President of the Republic, by virtue of the office, I am the visitor of 124 central universities. And almost like a parrot, in every academic congregation, I pointed out, I appreciate the physical expansion of our educational infrastructure in the higher education, but where the quality has gone? How is it? Every year, more than several thousand students cross the sea to receive higher education abroad. But at one point of time, there was world-class universities in India, starting from Takshashila in the 3rd century BC, where 4 civilizations confluenced: Chinese, Indian, Persians, Greek, to the 12th century AD, when the Nalanda University collapsed. Universities are expected to attract the mighty minds in the forms of teachers and students. Each center of higher learning is expected to be the hub of intellectual exercises, free thinking, free exchange of views, free expression, which are essential to advance a nation. Can we put any curb of this thinking? Can we put any restriction? And if there be some aberration, is it not the responsibility of the society to correct that aberrations? Because when we adopted our constitutions, which was operationalized on 26 January 1950, that is the first act which the people of India gave it to itself. In the Constituent Assembly, they adopted, enacted, and gave to themselves, people of India. No House of Commons, no charter from the King Emperor, no outcome of the commission appointed by our colonial masters, but the people of India, through their representatives, assembled in the Constituent Assembly of India, gave the constitution which provided guarantee to justice, social, economic, and political. To achieve social justice requires not mere governance, but a recasting of mindsets and the transformation of the social ethos. That is just not the job of the government or of the legislature, but of the society as a whole. We declared ourselves as the sovereign democratic, socialist secular republic. We promised to constitute India into a sovereign democratic, socialist, secular republic. What is meant by democracy? The ultimate goal of any democracy is the empowerment of the individual, irrespective of his economic, religious, or social standing. This may appear to be an utopian idea for many, but the strength of a system lies in the capacity to ceaselessly work for its achievement. The goal of political justice requires the continuous empowerment of marginalized sections of the society. We owe ourselves to create a system in which accession to politics is not limited to a privileged few, but an average Indian also feels empowered enough to contribute. And here we do feel. We have reasons to feel proud of that democracy has taken root in this country. In the last election, where more than out of 800 million voters, where more than 550 million electors exercised their voting rights and elected the parliament. We have wonderfully managed a highly diversified society. When we shut our eyes and look at India, we have 1.3 billion people. In our daily lives, we use 200 languages, 1,600 dialects, all major 7 religions practiced, all 3 major ethnic groups, Dravidians, Caucasians, Mongolites, in large number live in India, yet under one system, one flag, one constitution. It is because we have celebrated this diversity. We have never attempted to constrain it, to limit it. We did not make any attempt, or even if we made, it failed, to bring uniformity in place of diversity. Because diversity is essentially the strength of Indian culture. There is no doubt. As Dr. Amartya Sen in one of his books has said, Indians are naturally argumentative. I agree. Indians are argumentative, but not intolerant. If Indians are intolerant, India would not have remained in one country